Hi, welcome to the Spiritual View. I'm Carlene.
I'm Christine.
I'm Bisma. And I'm Christina.
And today our topic is divination. We've got a couple of tools here for you. And I guess we can talk about our experiences. Divination is a way that we can search for answers of the present here and now, and it's also something, to give us insight into maybe some questions, or maybe we have not sure of our path and we need a little bit more guidance. We can ask for guidance from our guides or spirit guides, and these tools kind of help them communicate to us and maybe open up some things that maybe we didn't consider or think about, cast the question in a different light, maybe help us determine which course to take, but just keep in mind that this is something that is constantly changing.
These are really, really fun tools that you can use for guidance, but you can also use them to do readings for other people, like the tarot. And we're going to talk about a couple different types of tools that we have. Ones I've never even heard of that I'm going to learn about today too. And we're going to do a little sample pulling of a card to show you as well, and share some personal stories.
Yeah. So there's obviously a numerous amount of different types of divination tools. You have your angel cards, your oracle cards, you have your tarot cards. There's so many different types of tarot decks and angel cards and lesson cards, and there's just so many. So it's actually pretty cool. There's so many, but because you can use them for different things. There's some that specify money or love or relationships, angels, whatever, which ones that you're needing in that moment. But I think it's important, kind of like with crystals, that you go and look at the cards when you...
Make sure that they speak to you.
Yeah, make sure they speak to you, because I definitely have different feelings with different decks that I use.
Definitely.
You mean like you go by them?
Yeah, and I have numerous decks, so, like if I'm having a specific situation, I'll be called to a certain deck. So I think it's important, as one of the divination tools, it's something that you buy in person for that reason.
There's a lot of really good online ones as well now,
Yeah.
and you can try those out. There usually is as an app that you can buy. There's also a lot of free ones. I find those are really helpful, and then you can really tell, right away whether or not a deck speaks to you, and then you can buy the actual physical ones.
Yeah, so there's just so many really cool, fun things. There's pendulums. You can, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Another one that you would get that kind of speaks to you, that you're called to. You can use them by themselves, and you can also use them with little mats or boards, or you can make your own. People make them. You can get them printed, whatever.
Can we just explain how to use it real quick?
Sure.
So it's important that you make contact with 3 fingers to create the circuit. Put your energy, and your body will have little movements to answer the question. And if you're asking a question for an answer of something that's going to happen in the future, it's good to find out what a yes and what a no is like for you, and what a maybe is. And for every person, it's different. So you just hold it, and you can say yes and see how it moves. And mine moves up and down. But if I'm doing it in this hand, it goes sideways. And then you say no, and for me it moves side to side. And then I say maybe, and it does circles for maybe for me. Sometimes it does like a diagonal, because sometimes I'll draw yes, I'll do this. I'll say yes, yes, no, no, and then I'll hold it above, and I can really track it that way. And then you just ask a question, and you try to clear your mind and let it move.
It's really important to have a clear mind when you're using this tool, though, because it feeds off of your subconscious vibration in a sense. And so If you're thinking, oh, please be a yes, oh, please be, it's going to be a yes.
Like,
So you need to have like a really clear mind when you're using this tool.
Like if I say, well, I will win $1 million, you know, I might say yes because I want to say yes.
Right. So those are fun. But those, if you're like distressed or, you know, really upset or really anxious about something, that's probably not the best tool to use in that moment, because it just works off of like your feelings. And it's really powerful in that way.
You can also use it for spirit communication, as well as your own personal answers.
Yeah. So there's the boards for that. You can use it without the boards. There's Ouija boards, the famous Ouija board.
Yeah, be careful with those.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with anything that you do. You want to come in with a clear intention, good intentions, sober intentions. You just want to be at a high vibration when you're using anything, when you're contacting any spirit.
Well, if you're using it for yourself, because spirit can communicate through most of these. Maybe not the tarot. Maybe it's the tarot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Definitely.
You can just set the intention of, you know, I would like the answer for my highest good, and not necessarily set the intention of I wish to get an answer from some entity. So if you keep it to yourself, and say I would like the highest good answer for myself, it kind of keeps the spirit out of it. So I think it's all about the intention beforehand with all of these, because it's about, I have an intention, I would like this answer, or I would like an answer to this question, and you could say from spirit or for my highest good, and just set the intention, and that's what is gonna infuse the cards or the pendulum or
whatever tool you're using.
those things with your energy to work with giving you an answer.
So, but I kind of feel like Ouija boards and talking boards get a bad rap because of the way, I mean, they can obviously be really powerful
And they're marketed as a toy.
Yeah, as a toy, and
it's not.
it's not. It's definitely powerful, and you definitely have to be careful. But it's the same thing when you're working with energy. You just have to be careful about what you do in general. So don't be detoured from it. Just be responsible with it.
Yeah, you just don't want to open it up to, like, you know, the lesser energies. As a child, I know that I played with it with my cousins, and we went to the, you know, cemeteries and did it at night. So, you know, we got some really interesting stuff there that, like, now I'm thinking it was a little crazy. Like, I think they were trying to, I mean, they definitely told us things that, like, became true, but at the same time, you could tell that it was a spirit kind of playing around and seeing how much they can affect our life here on the other side. So
They're
just
just
be,
curious.
yeah, they were playing with us as much as we were playing with them. So
Make sure you close the board.
yeah, you
Down
don't want
afterwards.
them to come and hang around in your space.
Yeah.
The Ouija board's like sole purpose is spirit communication. It's not really like personal divination.
Right.
But then I was thinking about maybe you could use it that way, but it's
I
not
think
really.
you can use any of this stuff in different ways, but that's pretty much what it's primarily used for, I would say.
Yeah.
And then there's the ruins. The ruins are really fun. I like them. It's really
How do
similar.
you spell that?
RUNES?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not runs.
No.
Ruins? Okay.
So they typically nowadays they're printed or engraved, or however you want to say it, on stones. But I believe wood is the best medium for ruins. It's just the most clean cut, and that's how the ancients did it. You know, that's how they used them. It keeps it grounded, and it's nature based and Mother Earthly based, and so wood is the best medium. But stones are also really cool as well, and they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors and everything. It's really fun. It's really similar to the tarot in a lot of ways. You know, you can just throw them on the ground and see what you get. They have symbols on them, or you can align them in a certain formation like you would with the tarot cards. It's all about symbolism, and you ask a question and you get an answer. It's pretty cool.
So can I ask a question about that? So would you just like kind of like stir it up and randomly pick 7 of them and toss it, or toss the
Yeah,
whole
you can
thing?
put them in the bag and you can just kind of, hold
That's
them
how
on
you
the tighter.
shuffle it,
I mean, yeah, and then you can pick one and see what it says, or you can throw them on the ground and see what they say. I mean, it's just kind of how you want to do it. Or if you're doing a formation, you can just pick one at a time and put them in their place. And it's very similar to the tarot. It's just they use symbols. They don't have pictures, and it's fun. It's another fun way to do it. There's also
The I Ching.
mhm,
And that's also very similar with symbols that have meaning behind them, and there's different ways of getting to that symbol. I think traditionally they did it with reeds that had that you kind of like shake out, but you can also do it with coins or a different number of ways. It's based on yin and yang, so you use these I guess opposing factors to kind of get to two symbols that together form a message, and there's a book on that.
It's E.
I Ching,
How do you spell it?
I, and then CHING.
Oh, so it's like you say E instead of I.
Yeah, because it's a Chinese word,
Okay.
and it's basically, that is the Romanized how you would spell it.
And you said the ancients. What ancients?
Ancient.
Where does
just
that come
ancients, the druids, like the
Mhm.
ancients, just the people that were here long before really civilization.
Is there like archaeological artifacts of those from long ago?
Sure.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely. They were used before the Latin language was developed, like when they were using like just symbols and things like that. Like it was just, it's really ancient.
Like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, so. There's also crystal balls, the typical what people think of when they think of, fortune tellers and gypsies and whatever. There's crystal balls. I've never personally used a crystal ball, but there is that, and people do use it.
And basically the crystal ball is just something that you can focus on to kind of clear your mind, so you go into a more meditative state and you kind of tap into your higher self, and then the images will come from that higher state.
Like
Same
on a
thing
blank
with-
slate, kind of.
Same with this scrying, like looking into a mirror.
Can you
Or
explain
playing.
scrying? Because I don't know much about that.
It's the same thing where you're focusing your attention onto a point, it could be a flame or a mirror or
A
something.
candle, smoke from stage, like there's.
So you just focus on it, and then pictures come up for you? Is that?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
kind
kind
of
of like
meditate and
daydreaming, kind of like, when you're
Okay, so it's like
daydreaming and
meditating.
things, yeah.
images
basically.
come into your mind or onto the medium that you're using, and it's pretty interesting. But you
I
can-
personally like to use, I have these spirit cards, and they're like, pictures of animals in nature,
Mhm.
and, I know that I have the deck that kind of explains them, but also just walking around in everyday life and seeing certain animals pop up, I'll notice that and then see what the meaning behind that means, because I think animals also do show up to give us messages.
Yeah.
So you can use anything, you don't have to purchase anything. I started off with a regular deck of cards that you would play, gin rummy with. Talking with a deck of cards by just playing with them, you can all develop a communication of your own.
Mhm. That's cool. Yeah.
There's also reading tea leaves, so people drink tea, and then at the bottom of the cup you read the tea leaves. So you'll see symbols, and sometimes nowadays they also have cups that have different symbols on the cup. So then you'll see where the tea leaves end up. So that's really cool.
It's fun. For my 21st birthday, this was before I had my spiritual awakening. But for my 21st birthday, I had a psychic medium come to my party and do readings for everybody, and she's awesome. And but she did tea leaf readings, and I didn't know that was a thing until she did them, and she was very accurate, and she was really good at what she did. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I haven't done it personally myself, but it's a pretty cool tool.
Yeah.
So like we said, you can use this personally, or you can use it to give other people readings. A lot of people that I've met that do readings for other people like to use the tarot cards or their angel cards. you can intertwine the decks, you can do all sorts of stuff, but it definitely can become a little bit of a crutch. So it's good to really be in touch with your intuition and be grounded, and just kind of use it as a guide.
If you're extremely emotionally charged about a question, I would suggest having somebody else do the reading for you.
Yeah, it's
That way
nice.
that the message comes through a little bit clearer and not through your emotions.
And I feel like when you have someone else do it, when you're so emotional or going through something or distress, I feel like it's easier for you to accept or to take it in from another person, because you're going, it's like it
Yeah,
helps
you're too
you
close
feel-
to you, so if somebody else is telling you,
I also always want to say that, so that, like there's tarot cards where there's numbers and symbols, and there's these extravagant interpretations of what they mean that having some practice with helps. But there's also these oracle type cards that are out there that will have the message on the card, so it can be from, like, if you've never used cards before, you can use a deck like this and shuffle it and pull a card, pose a question, shuffle it, and pick a card, and it can have the message very plainly on there for you, so there's no interpretation needed. And there's, like you were saying, there's cards that will be geared towards answers about the law of attraction, like Esther Hicks, like money cards, or there'll be like I just got, like, call it Baron Reed's postcards from spirit, so it'll be like a little message from, like, loved ones. And that's, you're just literally reading it. There's no interpretation or anything else involved with it. So,
and the message might not even hit for what you're wanting, but maybe something in the image does. So it's really just about what calls to you on that card.
so you don't need to be an expert just to start playing with them. They're fun.
It's fun. It's a fun thing.
You're fun.
They're comforting. It's fun, insightful. They're just good
So let's
stuff.
do an exercise of pulling a card.
Okay. Which deck do you want to use?
Which deck?
This is blue one.
This one?
Really,
Yeah.
this is
Angel pair.
that's actually the deck that out of all of these
What's your favorite?
that I resonate with most.
Oh.
With the oracle cards.
Can I touch your cards?
Of course.
So the thing about
You want to know?
not having your own personal cards is that they kind of get embedded with your energy.
It's kind of like people's teapots. You don't want to touch other people's teapots when you go over for tea.
So if you want to keep your cards personal to you,
Tell them what you just did
Do you
with
keep
knocking
them-
the energy.
do you keep them upright?
I keep them up. You can
Okay.
do
So
what you're.
I just
you want to do.
I knocked on the card to move the energy, to move her energy
To
out,
clear.
so that I can now hold it and
You should
infuse
touch
it with
each
my
card
energy.
too.
Yeah, and then
Use it.
since these cards have messages on them, and that there's no interpretation, and there's no upside and right side and upside down meaning, then I will shuffle them with all of them right up. Some people with the tarot will just kind of spread them on the table and pull them back together. That'll be how they shuffle them. There's like tons of ways to shuffle also.
Yeah, whatever's comfortable.
You can shuffle like this.
And you can make
And-
your own rules. Nobody's telling
Yeah.
you that you have to do them
Yeah.
a certain
It
way.
feels right.
Like some people do this and the card will pop out for them and they'll be like, oh, that must be my card. Or I'm like really harsh on my cards. I'll just like shuffle it like this, like a deck of cards, because I feel like I mix it up a lot better that way. Is it okay if I do that?
Yeah.
And some people will just spread them out on the table and just and put them back together and then cut it. So let me pose a question. What message is there for me going into 2018? So you pose your question or your intention.
That one literally just jumped out at you, but you weren't.
I know,
so it's okay.
okay.
It's okay. Whatever.
I'm talking.
It'll come back if
Whoever
it's
she
supposed
does.
to
See,
be.
I'm trying to do intuitive right side brain stuff while I'm talking and doing left brain stuff, and it's not a good combination.
Sometimes cards will literally fall out of the deck, and then you just know that's your card.
Yeah. This is not usually how I shuffle my deck, though. I like
It'll
to
come back if it's meant
keep
to be.
them together, and then I cut them. And I do this, and I just kind of like let it drop, and then I keep that as my top. This is like,
That's just how she
that's
does it.
how I do it.
She made it
In
up.
my crazy way. And I got release. It says, work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves You and your purpose.
Oh, that is so fitting.
So there's also a guidebook, so you can even read, you can find it in the guidebook.
So yeah, it has like a little description, and then a lot of
It
times
goes a lot
cards.
more in depth.
there'll be like 2 pages worth of material about that too.
Is there a number?
Yeah.
Alphabetical order.
Oh, it is.
So for me that makes sense because I'm like always trying to release whatever's not serving me.
So my dog got into my deck of cards, and I feel like he was trying to give us a message because he picked out 2.
That's funny.
When my husband came home, he's like, "Okay, this is what he picked out," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
My kids have gotten into my decks before and usually destroy a couple of the cards. So, but
Gives your cards some character.
yeah.
But what I was trying to share before is that, so a lot of tarot cards, you can't tell if the card is like upright or upside down. But a lot of times with the oracle, you'll be able to
You'll be able
tell.
to tell the pictures the same.
Yeah, so tarot, usually it's like, they'll be mixed. And so there's
You
always
can read them how you want.
Yeah, you can read them how you want.
Some people
This is funny,
read
guys.
reverse, but some don't.
It's telling me that I should take an action step of getting a piece of paper and a pen and emptying my mind and asking, Archangel Michael, what do I need to release to be fully on my path and purpose, and just write what comes to me.
Well, that's interesting
Like,
for
I
our
don't do that.
previous conversation, and then your automatic writing that you love to do.
I know, I do that all the time. But that's, I've never,
So it sounds like you need to do it again.
yeah, I haven't really done it with the intention of asking someone else, or Archangel Michael, what I need to release, so maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Lots of guidance that comes through with these tools. So maybe if any of these tools excited you or called to you, you can look them up, try it out. Let us know how you like it, what happened. We'd love to hear your stories. And yeah.
Thank you.
All